Okie dokie. We're back. Episode 26. Got some more study hall, college football locks again, and then we're back with some NFL Pickem, and then we'll close it out with some NFL locks. So jam-packed episode. Let's go. All right, first let's take a look back at the standings for our college football locks. We got Boyd and myself 1-0. We'll give Boyd the advantage though because he's got more units there, 1.58 units to my 1.2. And then Connor and Cameron are 0-1, down a unit.
Right where we left off last year.
Yeah.
Well, I was making the mistake like I have in years past, but I vindicated that this week and going forward because I've come to my senses again. I had been picking my 8 study hall picks, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I need a lock, and then my lock becomes number 9 on my depth chart.
Yeah,
and that was kind of, dragging me down a little bit. So I made special attention to not make that same mistake anymore. So
I like that. I like the sound of that.
It's smart man. Okay, speaking of the study hall, here's last week's record, 4-4, 50%, down 0.34 units. On the bright side, if you tailed everything, you should be up a little bit. So as far as locks and all the study hall picks. Yeah, any other comment?
Yeah, I'm not in the business of going 500 anymore. I got off to a pretty good start, but then Sacramento State let go of the rope. West Virginia was just an all-out bad pick. That was wrong. I'll own that one. My UTSA, they just decided not to play in the second half, and then A&M, is this classic A&M underwhelming. So I'll own that one too. So, anyways, like I said, I'm not in the business of going 500 because that doesn't make money. So I'm breaking out this week.
Hey, it's okay. That wasn't the only bad pick. Virginia Tech sucked ass too.
That wasn't an official pick. Jimmy.
I know. They sucked ass tonight, and we all bet them when they first came back. We're like, oh shit, hop on Virginia Tech money line, and we all did, and they fucking lost.
Yeah.
Well, I realized, my free ESPN bet. It pushed on the first day because I picked Duke, and Duke won by exactly 23 after Elon kicked the field goal down 26. And then I just did like an easy 7-team mega favorite parlay for $10. So it was on minus 109. And I looked back the other day and I was like, I probably picked Virginia Tech, didn't I? And I surely picked Virginia Tech. So my time back at ESPN bet was very short lived.
Same.
Yeah, same.
It was
I got
quick.
What did I used that on your first study hall, which must have been Stanford. So I got $8 in there.
That was one of the night. That was my first study hall was UNC Minnesota under.
That's the one. Yeah. No, because I didn't know about it till Friday. Boyd texted. So yeah, it was Stanford.
Okay.
They still that one, right?
Yeah, I got $8 in my
ESPN bet. They backdoored.
Nice.
They backdoored.
You're back, dude. You can put $1 on each of the study halls picks tonight now.
Hey, just need winners. I don't know. I imagine we're not going to talk about them this week. I could be wrong, but Boyd had them in his money line parlay. Penn State looks pretty good. West Virginia looked crappy, but Penn State looked pretty decent.
Who had Penn State in the playoff as the 6th seed?
Who had Miami and USC?
That's what. Yeah, I was going to bring up Sneezes. Miami looks really good because the ACC blows.
I have Miami as well, but I fucking have Florida State win the ACC, which sucks ass. I'm so pissed off about that.
Yeah, Clemson blows. Florida State blows.
Does Clemson blow, or is Georgia that good? Probably a little of both.
I mean, Clemson's still going to win 9 games plus easily because that conference blows. But
yeah,
and it's how does that DJ fucker? How does he suck ass now? When he was at Clemson, they won 11 games.
Yeah, he's boo boo.
That was the same guy last year.
He can't even complete a 5-yard pass. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And he's wearing do-rag. He needs to take that shit off. Coming from the do-rag king.
Wazoo? Was he at Wazoo last year?
He was at
Oregon State.
Oh.
And they were pretty good. They were ranked.
I'm all in on that Miami quarterback. He's just so lazy that it's kind of cool.
Cam Ward's a demon.
Yeah, he's got he has aura, as the kids say.
All right. Okay, let's roll into study hall. Week number 2.
All right. Well, I also noticed that part of my shortcomings were I didn't go to the library first, and I can't find the library background, so I'm just gonna take off to outer space as I alluded to earlier. So I'm just gonna go with that.
These picks are going to the moon.
All right, roll tape.
All right, let's do it.
Roll tape.
First game.
All right, so we're reinvigorating the old Big East here in this clash. So last year these two teams tangled, and Cincinnati won, and it led to a disappointing 3-9 season for Pitt. However, Pitt has a veteran coach in his 10th year. He's been bowling 7 out of 9 times. They have a lot of experience back. I feel like they're going to right the ship. Last week, Pittsburgh played a very clean game, a 31-point victory over Kent State out of the MAC. Shout out to the MACtion. Their quarterback, 30 of 40 passing. The running back, 10 yards a pop. They had tons of sacks and turnovers. But more so in this game, I'm more betting against Cincinnati. Cincinnati closed last year losing 9 out of 10. The only game that they won was against Houston, which I'm going to talk about them as we move on. Cincinnati played Towson last week, who was picked 9th in the Colonial Athletic Conference. After the first quarter, they played even with Towson, 17-17. They allowed 438 yards to Towson, which is pretty embarrassing. However, Cincinnati is getting their defensive tackle back, who's an NFL prospect. His name is Dante Corleone, and his nickname is the Godfather. He was out all of camp, blood clots in his lungs, and he's coming back this week. However, they said, he's working his way into game shape. So kudos to him for coming back from his blood clots, but I don't think he's going to be a factor this week. So I'm going Pitt plus the 1.5 on the road at Cincinnati. So Pitt Panthers will get us started on Saturday morning. All these picks are Saturday, so take note of that.
All right.
All right, moving on. Okay. So we go to our familiar friends that we've seen a couple times already. We are going to Stillwater, and the Hogs are coming to town. You've already heard my spiel on OK State. They have Ollie Gordon. They have that quarterback who's 95 years old. They were a little bit short last week against South Dakota State, but they took care of business for sure. They had no turnovers. They had no sacks, only one penalty last week. Ollie Gordon went for 100+ and 3 TDs. So KJ Jefferson was a former quarterback for Arkansas. He's gone. He's at UCF. Arkansas did get a quarterback, Talon Green, from Boise State transfer. But they crushed Arkansas Pine Bluff last week, 70-0. Arkansas sucks. They had to score the points while they can. But the defense for Arkansas is just not good. Each position group's rated among the bottom in the SEC. They're not good enough to slow down that nice-looking offense that the Pokes have, and they're not going to stop Ollie Gordon. So I'm taking the Pokes minus 7.5. The normal me would take that 6.5, but I think that's too low of a number regardless. So I think they'll win by multiple scores. So Oklahoma State it is.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up.
All right, moving on. This is among my favorite plays of the week here. So North Carolina, we saw them last week on Thursday with that galvanizing road victory over Minnesota. North Carolina did lose their quarterback, Max Johnson, out for the season. If you guys saw that nasty knee injury he had. But in camp, they were having a quarterback controversy anyways. The guy, Connor, he spells the name with an ER. So shame on him. Connor Harrell was a replacement. He closed the game out and won the game. Again, he was part of the competition, so he's very familiar. But the reason why I love North Carolina here is a fellow by the name of Omarion Hampton. He's a running back. Last year, he was second-team All-American. This year, he's looking to be the first team, one of the top running backs in all of the nation among the one NFL prospects. Went for 129 last week against Minnesota. Charlotte, on the other hand, was blown out at home against JMU, which I talked about JMU in the earlier podcast. They have a brand new coach, brand new quarterback, but they beat the shit out of Charlotte 30-7. So JMU ran for 200 against Charlotte, and UNC is going to run like crazy over them. Charlotte's QB, boy, to remember this cat, Max Brown, from Florida. Remember last year when we played Florida, Mizzou did. Graham Mertz broke his collarbone, and then they had that backup quarterback who came in and we couldn't stop him. Mm-hmm. We had to win on 4th and 17. So he was good against Mizzou that game, but we have a bad thing against backup quarterbacks. Otherwise, he's been dog shit. He started the last game for Florida last year against Florida State, 9 for 16, 86 yards, interception, sacked 6 times, and he played a shitty game against JMU last week, threw 2 picks. So Charlotte sucks. North Carolina's got a great running back. They're going to run all over him. I'm taking them minus 22.5 in Chapel Hill. You know, like I said, they're galvanized over their win last week, and they're going to lean on the run game and whoop some ass. Moving on. Okay, this is a future Maction battle. UMass is joining next year. Toledo, of course, cream of the crop in the MAC as usual. They won 11 games last year. They're replacing a lot of guys, but last week they did just fine. They beat Duquesne, you know, formerly Duquesne from March Madness Cinderella story, 49-10. But again, UMass, they suck complete ass. They lost at home to Eastern Michigan, 28-14. They had 9 penalties. They got sacked 6 times, missed 2 field goals. They just played an ugly ass game. So if they lost by 14 to Eastern Michigan, who's among the bottom of the barrel in the MAC, what's going to happen when they face Toledo? What's going to happen is they're going to lose by 20 or more. So I'm taking the Rockets in this one to win easily.
Tuck Toledo.
All right, copy that. All right, we're halfway home. This is one that will be popular. You know, going back to the well here, these two teams, of course, tangle on an annual basis. The Cy-Hawk rivalry, they call it. It's been under in 17 of the last 19 games, including 5 straight, and I'm sure the number's not been very high. Last year they had a total of 33, and the year before that they had a total of 17. Iowa did score 40 last week, but they are against the Redbirds of Illinois State. So I think that'll tone down a little bit. Iowa's got a ton of defensive players back, including some guys that had an NFL potential that chose to come back. Iowa State played North Dakota and only won 21-3. Of course, Iowa State is still led by the son of the Battlehawks coach, Anthony Becht, is the QB for Iowa State.
Got a hot mom.
You know, it's a low number. It's a low number, but we're going under. 35.5 is too high. That's too high. You know, we're talking like some teams scoring 20. Nobody's going to score 20. This game's going under. So it'll be popular. The number's probably going to keep dropping, so hop on while you can.
Okay.
All right. Next slide. All right. Last week, I looked at, Western Kentucky is not that bad. They can maybe hang with Bama for a little bit. So I took Western Kentucky plus 34, whatever it was. Every time I blinked, Alabama scored a touchdown. Alabama waxed them 61-0. Put in over 600 yards. The spread's very similar this week as it was last week. Bama covered their last 7 home games against a group of 5 teams, and that average margin of victory is 53. Last year, these two teams played in Tampa Bay, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Bama only won 17-3. Jalen Milroe got benched that game, and then, you know, he came back with a vengeance later in the year. But Jalen Milroe remembered this game. He's going to whoop some ass. The defense played outstanding for Alabama, held Western Kentucky 3 for 18 on third down, only 42 rushing yards. USF is not a bad club. They beat Bethune-Cookman 48-3, so they'll be pretty good in the American Conference. But Bama is a machine in these games, and they're going to continue. Another night game there in Tuscaloosa, and they're going to lay the wood to the poor Bulls from South Florida. I'm taking the Tide minus 31.5.
Please note that this line is only available on FanDuel. You can't move the line on DraftKings for this game for some reason.
Maybe you will on game day.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, 2 more. We're going back to the well again here. We're taking a trip back to Norman. Last week, Oklahoma came through for us. They had a big number to cover, 43.5 against Temple. And I think Temple's a pretty damn similar team to Houston. OU, despite only being 1 for 12 on third down, OU still crushed They had 6 sacks. They forced 6 turnovers, including a fumble recovery that bailed us out if you were with us last week. Houston got their ass beat at home by UNLV 20-7, and that 7 came with a backup QB with 1 minute left. They only ran for 50 yards. Their whole situation's a mess in Houston. They're picked in the bottom of the Big 12. Of course, these 2 teams were in the Big 12 last year, but they actually didn't play each other. Oklahoma's still trying to swing their SEC dicks. So they got to cover a smaller number against a similar team than they did last week. I'm taking Oklahoma minus 29.5 to win comfortably versus the Cougars. All right. Last but not least, we are going back to somebody who failed us last week, Oregon. Or I don't think you're there on my picks, but I bet them, and I failed miserably. Oregon, like I said, unimpressive versus Idaho. They dropped in the polls because of it. They only won 24-14 against Idaho. However, Dylan Gabriel, their quarterback that we talked about in earlier pods, 41 of 49, 380 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Their running backs went off. They outgained Idaho by like 250 yards, but the score didn't really reflect it. Boise won last week 56-45, which, if you're a math major, sums up to 101 points against Georgia Southern. That game combined for over 1,100 total yards, Boise accounting for 650 of those. Boise's got a feller named Ashton Jeanty. One of the top running backs off the draft boards. He popped off for 267 and 4 TDs. Georgia Southern threw for 300 plus against Boise, and they used to be an option team, but now they're not anymore. They threw for 300 plus against Boise. What do you think Oregon's going to do? They're going to throw all over the yard against Boise, and Boise's got a pretty good offense itself. So what does that mean? We're going over 61.5 between these two. Oregon's probably going to score 50 on their own. If fucking Georgia Southern scored 45, Oregon's going to take their anger out for dropping in the polls, and they're going to run up the score, and Boise's going to add some to the total. So we're going 8 for 8. We're going over in this contest. Thanks for riding along.
Love it.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right. Let's keep rolling with our locks. We'll kick it off with Boyd. His game is Tennessee versus North Carolina State. I think this is that Duke's Mayo Classic or whatever in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And the lock is Tennessee minus 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any notes on this, but from the top of the dome, I mean, it should be pretty easy. NC State last week, they played Western Carolina, and they looked like complete shit. I think the line was like plus 38.5 or whatever. And they just look fucking awful. They gave up like 330 yards to fucking Western Carolina. And Tennessee was balling. They looked very good last week. And I believe, Cameron, you said something about Corey said they might win SEC or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Corey's high on them, but you know how Tennessee is. They beat Chattanooga by like fucking 50 points, and their quarterback threw for this many yards, whatever, and they're all claiming like, all this shit. So they're on their high horse already. But
just looking at the highlights, they look pretty damn good. Yeah, the quarterback Nico, he was balling off that game. I mean, they fucking had like 730 total offense yards, and they only give up like 190. So I think it's supposed to be a blowout. It's gonna be a blowout this weekend. So yeah, Volunteers just sounds very easy pick for me, and hopefully you guys ride.
I won't be riding.
You won't be?
No, it's against my religion.
All right, I'll ride.
Okay. Thank you.
Shannon, back to this Boise State-Oregon game. And you've got Oregon, minus 21.
Yeah, so Sneeze took some of my notes. Another reason that Idaho hung in that game and made it look worse than it was they ran a bunch of trick plays, and they just worked. It's like they were playing NCAA 25, and they were just, I didn't see all the highlights, but I saw a couple of them, and I was like, okay, well, this line's going to move. I think it started at like 25 preseason and got down to, I think, as low as 18.
I want to say it was like 19.5 right before we started.
Yeah, and it got down to 18 like right after the rankings came out. And so I think they're going to win by 3 touchdowns. I thought we'd have plus odds on this. Maybe I'm getting greedy by going with minus 21. But, yeah, I think they're going to absolutely smoke them.
All right, love it. Yeah, I think right before we started again, it was earlier today. It was plus 101 or something, and yeah, right before we started, it changed again. But still, either way, it's decent odds.
Maybe you'll get an odds boost for that one.
Yeah. All right, on to Sneeze. We got a twofer.
All right, I'm going with these two ranked matchups here. I was pretty surprised when I saw these two lines. As Boyd pointed out, Tennessee looked good, and North Carolina State did not, and they're only catching 7. So I think the Vols will. I like the pick of -7. In fact, I do have it bet already on DraftKings. And Texas is also only a 7-point favorite against Michigan. Yes, Michigan was national champions last year, but they lost a ton, particularly on offense. They're not going to be able to hang with the offense that Texas has got. So both these teams are like a 7-point favorite. We'll put them together. I would be shocked if either of these two teams lose. And honestly, I'll be kind of happy if one of them loses because fuck them both. It'll be pretty funny. But I just can't conceive a world in which either of them lose these games. So let's put our heads together and ride the UT parlay.
In the big house,
we'll hold
though?
our nose.
Yeah, I was going to say the
We'll hold
only
our
thing
nose.
Michigan's got going for them is that they're at
Big
home.
house?
Yeah, that's okay.
That place is rocking. I'm assuming that's at 11. The big noon.
I
whatever.
think it's the big noon game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be right.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'll be on it.
I won't be riding this one either, unfortunately.
A little weary of the Michigan.
Get,
But we'll
get the
see.
fuck out of here with your damn religion shit.
Yeah, it is confirmed 11 a.m. on Fox.
Thank you. All right. Myself, I got a threefer. We're going to go Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Iowa, and South Carolina, Kentucky. And we're going to do an alternate line parlay. Oklahoma State -2.5, Iowa +7.5, and Kentucky -2.5. Yeah, I liked Cameron's points as far as Oklahoma State. They dominated again, like he said, against that best team in the FCS last week. And then they get a lowly Hogs team, so they should be able to win this game by a field goal or more. Again, he kind of touched on it with Iowa. Their defense looked as good as it does normally, but the offense struggled in the first half, put up 6 points against Illinois State, and then they scored 34 in the second half. And then
in a low-scoring game, if you're getting 7.5 in your advantage, that's pretty comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iowa State struggled a little last week, so they might struggle even more against Iowa's good defense. Iowa should win this game, but let's just play it a little safe and give them 7.5 points. And then I'm taking Kentucky here solely based on how South Carolina looked last week. They barely squeaked by Old Dominion. I think it was by like 4 or something, 3 or 4. I don't know. And UK's at home, so that's always an added bonus. So we're going to take them. They should also win this game, but move it to 2.5.
They almost fucked up our long parlay teams. South Carolina.
Yeah, I know. I was sweating that. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, we hit a 20-legger that was like -108 or something that cashed.
Somehow in that legger, you skipped over Virginia Tech, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they were like -14 or something, and I think I did everybody over like
-2,500 and shit like that.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked. Shout out to teams.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything else for these locks?
I love them.
Let's ride.
All right, 4 winners. Okay, let's switch gears to the NFL. Get into some pick'em.
Get them hot.
Boys.
First game.
Oh, that looks nice, Steve.
Ravens at the Chiefs. Chiefs -2.5. So if you guys don't mind, I'll give us a little betting trends again.
Yeah.
Mahomes 5-1 straight up and 4-2 against the spread in season opening games. Andy Reid 9-2 straight up and 7-4 against the spread in season opening games. So pretty good numbers there. However, Lamar, he's perfect against the spread, 7-0 over the last 3 seasons when he is an underdog, which he is here. As far as my pick, I think Arrowhead's going to be rocking. But I like the Ravens to pull off the upset like the Lions last year. So give me the Ravens +2.5.
Yeah. Am I next?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I forget our order. Teams echoed a lot of my notes. That line, that kickoff game last year was also at Arrowhead, was it not?
Yep.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, against the
Yeah.
Lions.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see something similar happening. I do think the Chiefs have a little bit more firepower on offense this year. And I think that Lamar record actually goes back further. I think he's like 12-0-2 in his career against the spread as an underdog. So don't like taking plus 2.5. But
Yeah,
I'm
I want
going
to add
to.
another point onto it to be safe.
Go
If I was
Ravens.
betting it, I'd give him another point.
So this line is 3, and it opened at 3, and someone else go ahead. But I've got the stats over the last 3 years of games that opened at 3 points. But someone else go ahead.
I cannot wait to watch this damn game. This is a really good opening game to start the NFL season. Like Steve said, what did you say the record was against each other? Did you say Pat and Lamar's record against each other?
No, I just said Pat, like Mahomes' records and season openers.
I'm pretty sure I saw Pat's 5-1 against Lamar, and that one loss came to CEH fumbling the ball in field goal range when they lost by 3 against the Ravens at the Ravens. So Pat should really be undefeated against these boys, even though they're going to kick it for the tie. But I can't bet against Pat. Lamar he can do everything except beat Pat Mahomes. So even though they added the king, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here in this matchup, especially since it's -2.5.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about the 2.5 either, but I already had my mind made up on this. Lamar's a regular season guy, and Pat's the postseason guy. And this game, I guess the records, might indicate otherwise, but this is a regular season game, of course. So I'm going to take the Ravens. I just have a feeling that we're going to get the same script that we've seen from the Chiefs, where they may lose this game and they may start, like 4-3 or some shit, and they're like, oh my god, is the Chiefs falling apart? Is Travis Kelce being distracted? Blah 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 blah, and then they turn out and then they're in the Super Bowl or win it, whatever. But this game, as part of the script, will be a victory for the Ravens.
Back to the script, huh?
Yeah, Sneeze has it. So lines that have opened at 3 points over the last 3 years, the underdog has covered. They're 58-36 against the spread. That's a 22 game difference. So that's another reason I like the Ravens.
Hey, I hope they win. Hey, I got them winning the Super Bowl.
Boy, are you playing softball tomorrow?
No, I don't play. I'm not playing in fall league, bro.
Oh, well, I'm bringing my TV.
Question.
You say you're bringing a TV?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
What a teammate. That's a great teammate.
Is Taylor going to be there?
At our softball game?
No, at Arrowhead.
I would imagine. Is she?
Seems
I
like
would
too
imagine.
good of a
It sounded like
a
a question that you needed to
airtime to
answer.
pass up. No, I don't know the answer.
All right. Anything else here?
Go
Geeked.
Chiefs.
I mean, the countdown is on.
Yeah, less than 24 hours from recording here. All right, next game. We got the Packers and the Eagles. Eagles are -1.5, and this game is being played in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo. Say it with me. Sao Paulo.
Tapalo.
Yeah. Have you guys seen this this deal? I guess the soccer team that plays here is like their rival is wears green, so that the stadium is like all these fans are like throwing a fit, like nobody should be wearing green, yada yada yada. And the Eagles are the technical home team, so they're like, oh, we'll wear white.
I heard that and I looked it up and I saw that was like, I mean, they feel that way during soccer, but they're not making a big deal of it for this game. But
I thought the thing that was fake was that it was related to gangs, but I believe I believe the soccer stuff.
Yeah, that's realistic.
And also, nobody's allowed to tweet about it because they don't like free speech in Brazil.
That's right. X has been banned.
Okay. So the LaFleur's Packers have been when they've been underdogs, they have covered in 22 of 32 games. Pretty good. Also, LaFleur is 13-2 against the spread in the first 3 weeks of the season. going into this game, the Eagles have lost 7 straight against the spread. Not great. Jalen Hurts is 10, 18, and 1 against the spread on the road or in neutral site games, which is good for the worst of 104 quarterbacks since 2020. I didn't really have a lean or a read on this game, but once I got these stats, I'm just going to roll with it. So that's brutal from Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to take the Packers plus 2.5, or I guess it's 1.5 now. So I'll take Packers plus 1.5.
Yeah. So the model doesn't really have a algorithm for games in Brazil, so we can't go with the model here. But I do have some travel notes. You guys know I like to know what's going on with the travel.
Yes.
So both these teams are treating this just like a regular season game. So they're leaving 2 days early, getting there late at night. I guess tonight, Wednesday night. They're having a walk through tomorrow on Thursday, and then playing the game Friday. That's fine if you want to treat it like a normal regular season game because there's not any time difference, maybe an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But that's almost a 10-hour flight. To me, that's crazy. Like traveling that long, it doesn't matter if these guys are used to travel, like especially internationally. That's tough.
Is it a 10-hour flight?
I think it's 9 hours. Yeah, 9.5, something like that.
Yeah, I guess that probably is pretty far. Yeah.
Brazil's a long way down there.
It sure is. Yeah. So I'm heavy on the
especially
under in
Sao Paulo.
I'm heavy on the under in this game, but that's not the game we're playing here. There has been a lot of talk of like guys being uncomfortable, like they got a huge list of things not to do in Brazil. So yeah, I think the under is a lock. I've already got a bet on it. But as far as the lines, I think these teams are pretty even, and the line indicates that. I think the Eagles have a little bit more to prove coming into the season, a little bit more chatter doubting them. So I'll give the edge to the Eagles.
This is a very tough game for me to read. Everybody's hyped on the Packers and their high power offense. And Chief said the thing about Jalen Hurts, but hey, he's a buster now, so all that shit's gonna change. And so and all the players on the Eagles are saying this is gonna be the Saquon show because it's his first game with him, obviously.
Yeah, we knew where Boyd was going with this pick. Jesus.
So hopefully they're all right about this damn Saquon show I'm hearing. So I'm gonna have the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So this is their path. This is their path to the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna go to the Eagles in this matchup.
How's your tight end doing, Boyd?
He hasn't hurt him. He's all right.
Just put a little icy hot. He'll be good to go.
He'll be all right. Just give me 7 points. I'll be all right.
All right. First things first, I'm going to look right into the camera and say this. Playing in Brazil is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
and
it is.
This game's on Peacock, which is disappointing. And
you got to get on Peacock, bro.
I'm going to illegally stream this game, and I will never subscribe to Peacock. No matter how many games you put on Peacock, I will not subscribe to Peacock.
How you going to watch The Office?
Yeah, it's a great platform.
Anywho, with that being said, I'm again, like many others have said, I'm kind of torn on this game. I've made my feelings known about Jordan Love. He's overpaid, but I'm still gonna pick the Eagles anyways, because I'm feeling the squat room in the backfield there between Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Jordan Love got off to a slow start last year. So let's say it happens again. I'm going with the Eagles in Sao Paulo.
All right. Am I the only one on Packers?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, though. This is stupid. Like, who are they trying to reach here? Like, nobody in Brazil gives a fuck about
Well, I think they're like the third highest international market for football, like behind Mexico.
Maybe they do then. I don't know. It seems strange, though.
But yeah.
Okay, next up. And, we wouldn't be a Colts podcast if we didn't talk about our Colts.
I wanted to leave this game out, but I knew better.
So we got Houston Texans coming to Indy, take on the Colts. Texans are minus 2.5. So for the trends here, I really hated seeing some of these things here, but, I got to give them to you. So since 2008, the Colts are 2-13-1 straight up and 1-14-1 against the spread in week 1. And that includes
Yowza.
0-6 against the spread versus divisional opponents. Since 2003, the Colts are 5-14-2 against the spread in their season opener, which is good for the absolute worst against the spread in the NFL during that time. The Colts have not won a week 1 game since 2013. Okay, so I'll shift from them and try to get some text and stuff here. CJ Stroud is 3-5 against the spread as a favorite in his career. That's all I got for them. So yeah, those numbers were brutal for the Colts. And I'd love nothing more for them to start off 1-0, but it's gonna be a tough task with Houston. They're a decent team. But all bad things must come to an end, so I'm gonna take the Colts plus 2.5.
Oh, Jesus.
And the straight up win for the shoot. Let's go. For real, I do think they will win this game. I mean, they'll have a little revenge tour for the last game last season, so I think they'll come out hungry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Obviously, I have the Texans winning the division. I think they're going to be better than the Colts this year. There's just something about this game. Lucas Oil, AR, back. You know, they're foaming at the mouth there in Indy. Like you two are prime example. You're not even in the city. Yeah, and I don't think the Texans defense is going to be all that great this year. So why not? Let's go with the dogs. Go Colts.
Obviously, it's a big game. You know, as Teach pointed out, we haven't won week 1 since 2013, which was against the Raiders. And but you know, I did read something that the Colts are 23-7 in their last 30 games against the spread, which is 77%, pretty good, right? Yeah. And so the Colts hate fucking CJ Stroud. He made a lot of comments in the offseason towards the Colts, and so
what did he say? I didn't hear him.
Just like Colts fans hate me and I love it, and because him and EJ Speed are boys, so they always talk shit to each other. And CJ was just saying a lot of shit in this podcast over summer, which makes me hate him now. And so, like you guys said, Lucas Oil is gonna be fucking bumping, and I can't fucking wait to see it. It's gonna be fucking bumping, and A. Rich is back head to head against CJ Stroud. He's 1-0, so I'm gonna go with the Colts here.
Well, anyways, so I guess it's up to me. I'd first like to point out, you're not gonna be able to see this, but I got an email from DraftKings, celebrating that the NFL season's back, and they gave some stats about NFL betting. I don't know if you guys saw the same email. However, it says my favorite NFL team to bet on is the Indianapolis Colts. So shout out to
you specifically
saying that. Yeah. Shout out to saying that I'm a hater because it says they're my favorite team to bet on.
No, you just bet on them so when they lose you can have something to bitch about.
Thank you.
No, because I've said, and I picked it in my bracket. I have them in the playoffs. I said that I think they're not that great, but they're just very average, and they're good at finding a little way to sneak out wins, and that's why I had them in the playoffs. With that being said, I was waiting for Connor to throw out the stat, how many games has Anthony Richardson played since high school? A dozen?
17.
Yeah. So, he didn't play, since about this time last year. The Colts have been fucking around all preseason wearing Guardian helmets during games. They're not ready for this contest. Stephon Diggs has a lot of swag. He's going to come in swagging it up with CJ Stroud. And the Texans are going to win this game. I said it. I've been saying it for a couple months now. The Colts are going to start 0-3, and you can't go 0-3 without going 0-1. So I dug this out of the closet, and I'm riding the Texans.
Sheesh.
That's pretty good.
If you wear that on Sunday, I'm going to fuck you up.
He is.
Yeah.
He's going to. Idiot, man.
Do you have any Texans on your team, Cameron?
No.
Oh.
I do. I have fucking Stephon Diggs, so I'm gonna be like,
yeah, he's gonna be going off.
He's gonna catch a fucking 80-yard bomb. I'm like, fuck, and I'm gonna be low key like, yeah. It's gonna piss me off, but hey, whatever.
As long as he doesn't get the team win, then you're fine.
Right. For the shoe.
Okay, let's keep rolling. We got the boys at the Browns. Browns minus 2.5. Okay, so Dak is 36, 43, and 2 against the spread versus teams outside of his division throughout his career. Dating back to 2021, Dak and the Cowboys have lost 7 straight against the spread when listed as an underdog. Since 2005, the Browns are 2-16-1 straight up in Week 1. Their 2 wins last year and the year before that. And if they win this game, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before, and I have a feeling things are going to turn around for the Browns.
That's 2 in a row. We win 1 tomorrow. That's called a winning streak. It has happened before. So let's see some hustle. Let's jack it up a little. I got a feeling things are about to turn around for us.
Just kidding. They're going to lose this game. Cowboys plus 2.5.
Yeah. I think I'm on all underdogs so far. No, I picked Philly, but I'm going to be on the Cowboys on this one. I'm not optimistic for the Browns this year. You'll notice I did not have them in the playoff picture. So yeah, I'll take the boys to win outright and cover plus 2.5.
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked that the Browns are favored, but I mean, hey, the Cowboys. I mean, they're all fucking. They're just better team, you know. Teves number 88 got picked, or he got paid, so Teves is gonna be screaming 88 all game. And I'm gonna be jealous because I'm gonna miss screaming 88. But you know, I had to pass along to my friend here, Teves, so he gets to scream 88 now. But this is I think the Cowboys are gonna smack them. So I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah, it's been pointed out by others. I haven't really dug into the lines for NFL Week 1, but it appears to me that the wrong team's favored here. Deshaun Watson's boo-boo, and Nick Chubb's out for like the first month. So who they got? Jerome Ford and Jamari Cooper and Hobie Bryant, shit like that. I know their defense is okay, but you know the Cowboys' defense is pretty good too, and they got Dak back. Zeke's on his last couple legs, but surely he's gonna be fresh for this game. You know, 88 got paid, as we said. So I'm taking the Cowboys for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who's Kobe
is
Bryant?
CD even practicing?
Hobie.
Oh, Hobie.
Like 3 years ago, he caught like a nice pass or something. Maybe it was a touchdown. Cam just says Hobie Bryant.
His name's like Harrison Bryant, but like I think the back of his jersey.
I don't
like
think he's on this team.
Is he not anymore?
No, they got Njoku.
They've had Hobie Bryant when they've had Njoku. They've been a tandem for a while.
Yeah, Hobie.
What did it say, like H. Bryant or something? So you just thought his name was Hobie?
Yeah, and I mean Joe Flacco was the best part about the Browns last year, and now he's the best backup in the league. Am I right?
Damn right.
Yeah, and you picked against him.
We'll probably
you know he's getting in the game.
Yeah, we'll probably see him in the second quarter.
Probably. Okay. Let's move on. Sunday Night Football. We got the Rams at the Lions. Lions are minus 3.5. So under Sean McVay, the Rams are 6-1 straight up and against the spread in Week 1 and have covered in those games by nine points. The Lions are 36-16 against the spread in the regular season the last 3 years, which is good for the sixth best in the 3-year stretch in NFL history. This should be a good game. It's a potential playoff matchup. I think a couple of us, maybe just Connor had
Division
it.
Round. Yep.
Yeah. This place is going to be, as Boyd would say, bumping, and so I'm going to take the Lions minus 3.5.
This is going to be real bumping.
Yep,
this isn't Lucas Oil bumping. This is real bumping.
Yep.
So not many notes for this game. I'm real excited to watch it. Obviously, it's a playoff projected playoff matchup for me. I'm going to take the 3.5 on the positive side just because I think it's going to be close. Let's say Dan Campbell goes for it to go for 2, to go for the win instead of a tie on a game-winning drive, and Lions win, but Rams cover.
All right.
This is a tough game for me. I think as you guys stated, it's definitely Ford Field's definitely going to be bumping for sure. It's going to be another revenge tour between Goff and Stafford. Stafford fell short last year, but I think the Rams come out with the victory here. They got a healthy Cooper Kupp now to start the season, and who's Matthew Stafford's favorite target. So I think he's going to feed him all night, and the Rams are going to win. I think the Rams are going to win, not only cover, but they're going to win. So go Rams.
Well, I have some respect for the Rams. I think they're a pretty decent ball club, but I believe I have them out of the playoffs. And the reason why I have them out of the playoffs is they have a tougher schedule than most, including this contest that we're looking at right here. I think Detroit is slightly the better team, maybe a little more than slightly, but they're at home. So I'm taking the Lions, one pride.
Okay. Last game, Monday Night Football. We got the Jets at the 49ers. Niners are -4.5. Aaron Rodgers, he loves Monday Night Football. He's won 10 straight games when it's on Monday night.
Well, except for last year.
Well, I guess they didn't.
But they won, but he didn't
count that as a start.
Win.
Like they technically did win. Yeah, he technically did start. So 10-0. Underdogs. They are 29-12-1 against the spread in Week 1 Monday Night Football games since 1998. Since 2000, the loser of the Super Bowl is 10-14 straight up and 5-19 against the spread in Week 1. So again, with the loser of the Super Bowl, when they are favored by more than a field goal in Week 1, they are 9-4 straight up and 4-9 against the spread. I think that's gonna happen. I think the Niners are gonna fall into a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover and come out slow. And the Jets, they're gonna be hungry to prove themselves after last year's kind of shitty season or whatever you want to call it. So they're gonna come out fast. Niners come out slow. Jets are gonna cover the 4.5 and maybe even win this game outright.
I do agree that the Niners are gonna be a little lukewarm this season, but I don't think it starts Week 1. They're at home. That's a tall task for the Jets to come in and try to beat the defending Super Bowl losers. So I'm going to take the 49ers. I think there's been some drama going on in Jets camp. Maybe that's just reporter talk. But I don't think they have what it takes to go into San Francisco and pull out the win. I don't think they're going to cover either. So I'll take the 49ers.
Oh, man, it's a lot of shit in this game, man. I believe A-Rod's from the San Francisco area, so he'd be back at home.
He's a California guy.
Then you got the head coach of the Jets, who used to be the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, Robert Saleh, whatever the fuck his name is. And you guys heard about all the 49ers drama. Big Trent Williams just got paid yesterday. Ayuk just got paid. And so, I mean, old boy got shot. So I mean, they're gonna be fucking playing for his ass. I didn't think about
that. Fuck, I'm gonna have to change my pick. They're playing for their homie.
Yeah. That's extra motivation for Monday Night Football here. But as Steve said, Aaron Rodgers on a mission. I mean, after you told me that damn his record on Monday Night Football, I was Niners, but now I mean, hey, this is A-Rod here, and the way him and Garrett Wilson have been connected in preseason and camp and all that, I think they connect a lot in this game, and I'm going to go with the Jets spread here. But I think they lose, but I'm going to go with the Jets spread.
Yeah. So Ricky Pearsall, I had to move to my IR today. I know I'm a good fantasy player. I didn't know people need to come after my guys like that. But, I got an IR spot, picked up a backup defense ready for Week 2. With that being said, I had the Jets pretty high on my playoff board. It sounds like the 49ers have some distractions going on. So A-Rod, has been waiting for this moment for some time now. And, I think the Jets are supposed to have a good defense, so they might put some heat under Purdy's chin. And I'm taking the Jets in this game.
Yeah, I want to add, too, how we always talk about scripts. Like, The NFL needs New York to have a team. The Giants are going to suck. They want, Aaron Rodgers and with the Jets. They're going to want them to be decent. So they got to start them off 1-0. The Niners will figure it out. They'll be there in the end of the season. So they're getting the Jets a win here.
I don't think the NFL needs that because New York hasn't had a team for a decade, and the NFL's been just fine.
Yeah, and they want it back.
Yeah, they want it back. Just like that's why the Knicks are good now because they want New York to be back bumping.
We'll see.
You watch that series.
That's why the Yankees are good. The script.
Yankees or Mets are on a come up, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. They need a team in New York in all sports. The Rangers were good.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I don't know. Teebs knows her, but Michelle Smallman.
Yep.
So I rarely listen to ESPN radio. Hillsman listens to it, so shout out to him. But she's
like
a pretty fine looking.
Shout out, John.
She's a pretty fine looking young gal. But anyways, she's from St. Louis, and now she's on like national ESPN radio in the morning. And they apparently were doing a bachelor, or I guess a bachelorette, I should say, where she like went through all the 31 other teams besides the Rams, and she like eliminated a couple each day.
Yeah.
And then she ended up, like picking a team that she was going to adopt as her team. And I only listened to it one time. And when I listened to it, she was down to the I think it was the Jets, the Bears, and like the Bengals or something maybe. I assume you probably didn't hear to see who won,
No,
but
I have no idea.
But yeah, so I was just curious. And she apparently lives in New York, so she was thinking about hopping on the Jets wagon. But anywho, sidetrack.
Yeah, she's from she went to Althoff. Pretty sure. Anywho's.
Shout out Crusaders.
Sure. All right, let's roll into our locks. We will kick it off with Boyd. We've got the Jags at the Dolphins. We're going Dolphins -3.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw this line. Like Sneeze said earlier, he didn't look at the NFL lines, and I haven't either, so I had to go look for a lock. And I was like, wow, the Dolphins are -3 at home against the fucking Jaguars. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a fucking lock. I mean, the Jaguars secondary is horrendous. And Tyreek, Cheetah, and Jalen Waddle are going to be running all over them damn boys all fucking game. And, it's the Battle of Florida, obviously, and Dolphins are going to fucking smack their ass. I mean, Jaguars' defense is ass, and T-Law's average. Who's he going to throw the ball to? And Dolphins' defense have upgraded from last season. So, I mean, this is pretty easy to me. I mean, Dolphins -3 it is. Go Fins. What'd you say last year about the Dolphins?
Fuck, what did I say?
Dolphins country, let's dive.
Yeah.
Dolphins country, let's dive.
That's clever. Shout out to myself. Yeah, I like this pick. The Jags are going to be okay. They'll be all right. But the Dolphins should win this by 3 pretty easily.
They always start hot.
Tyreek started last year, week 1. He had fucking 3 tuds and 215 yards. Expect that again.
Okay, I'll expect that. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, Connor's pick. We have the Raiders at the Chargers, and we are going Raiders +3.
This was almost my fucking luck, Connor.
You guys can guess where I'm going here. So everybody's.
Is anybody going to watch this game?
We are.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
It'll be the one of the 3 games at 3:00, so I'm sure.
Right. Everyone's on the Harbaugh train, and I do think the Chargers are going to be pretty decent this year. But week 1, you got the Raiders coming to town, big bad defense. Harbaugh's going to be trying to run the ball, and he's not going to be able to with that D line. And Herbert's got a little foot issue. I don't know if that's been a little bit lost in the shuffle, but he's got plantar fasciitis, which can tend to flare up. So they're saying he's good to go, but I mean, we might be seeing Easton stick here in the second half. And you guys know I like the Raiders this year, not only because of their defense, but they got Gardner Minshew, who you saw what he did with the Colts, and some are saying he didn't even have a wide receiver 1 last year. Now he's got Devontae Adams, and he's also got Brock Bowers, which who knows what'll happen there. He could have just 2 demons on the field. So their running backs are trash, but I don't care. The Raiders are going to win this game outright, and they're certainly going to cover +3.
I love it, Connor. That was my lock. I said it on Saturday, but I changed it.
Yeah, I mean, I do realize that Justin Herbert is a baby back bitch, and I also do realize that Connor Stallions is not going to be participating in this game. But it is
Not that
Jim
you know of.
Harbaugh versus Antonio Pierce. I mean, you know, I don't know, but anywho,
I mean,
best of luck to you.
That's two guys that the players want to play for him, so that cancels out to me.
Did you guys watch that Connor Stallions doc?
Yeah, I watched
I
it the
haven't
last
watched it
2
yet.
nights. Yeah,
It was horrible. They didn't tell us anything. It just like
yeah, I mean, I figured there was
hyped
nothing.
the guy up.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I mean, it was okay, I guess, to learn how he like did things, but overall, it was kind of dumb. Okay, Cameron's game, Steelers at Falcons. There's a lock. Boyd, who is that?
He's on.
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons for this. So one, Bijan Robinson had this number in like well over half the games last year. That's point number one. Point number two, their coach came outright and said that we need to give him the ball more. So if you're going to get the ball more, you're going to get more yards. So that's point number two. Point number three is, Kirk Cousins is quarterback in the Falcons, and he tore his Achilles last year. And so what better way to break in your freshly healed Achilles than dump off to your running back? TJ Watt's going to be running at him and such. So, let's get Kirk Cousins back in the flow of things early. They're going to be dumping off screen passes, dink and dunk. Bijan Robinson is going to get a lot of receiving yards, or at least 26 or more. Enjoy.
I am going to enjoy. That's a good line.
I know we're just going to be sitting at 23 yards, like early third quarter, and then he's just going to finish with 23 yards.
No, he's probably going to get like 24 in the first quarter and then not get another catch.
Yeah.
But anyways, it doesn't matter because even I can't screw this up. He's getting this easily.
Do they pay out if he if he gets 26 or more? Do they pay it out even if he'd be at 26?
No, I think it has to wait. I think it's going to be
the game finish.
Okay.
I also like this is just one of those classic NFL like storylines where Arthur Smith all year last year, people were pissed off because he wasn't using Bijan. Now he's the offensive coordinator with the Steelers, and the OC in Atlanta just wants to be like, this is how you use Bijan Robinson. I think he's going to go off in this game. I don't know if they'll win, but yeah.
I love it, Sneeze. I'll be all over this, babe.
I told you.
Okay. Myself, I got another three we got the Steelers, Falcons, Patriots, Bengals, Cowboys, Browns. And we're going to go with parlay here. Steelers plus 10.5, Bengals money line, and Cowboys plus 10.5. The Steelers are always right there, average, decent at sometimes. Under Mike Tomlin, 59, 34, or 35-4 as an underdog, which they are in this game. Russie is poo-poo, but he'll be good enough to keep them within 10.5. Patriots may not win a game all season, so this was an easy money line pick here with the Bengals. And I already kind of talked about the Browns and the Cowboys. But the Cowboys, they should win this game, but we'll play it safe and give them 10.5 points. So parlay it all together, plus 110.
All these locks are so fucking juicy. These might be the juiciest week ever of locks.
These are all that's a bad sign. That's when you know they're
all going to
lose.
These are all great.
Bijan catches a first screen pass, loses 4 yards, and tears his ACL.
And Cameron's gonna be holding a beer, and he's gonna be jumping up and down like, "Yeah, my lock."
My lock records are horrible, so I gotta do something.
Yeah,
I feel good about this one though. May not be a good sign.
I like these. I
always love week one. You just go into every bet just with so much confidence, and you're like, I'm not losing a fucking game today.
Yeah, I'm winning all my bets today. I'm gonna need to set aside some time to put in Teeb's locks this week, but I'll survive.
Hey, I'll place it in there. You just go find it in the group.
Yeah, I'm not gonna feel bad about putting like multiple leg stuff anymore because he's guilty.
I mean, it's not that hard to make it, so just send it.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna make a lot of money.
Let's cap it at 4 teams or 4 games. So let's cap it at that.
We're gonna make a lot of money this weekend. I mean, if DraftKings hand out profit boosts like it's fucking Halloween candy.
Yeah, they
are. I know. I already placed all my bets and that was dumb. I should have known there'd be boosts on every game.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't got nothing else. You guys got anything you want to talk about?
It's great, man. Week 1 NFL is upon us.
I did want to get I did want to get a Mizzou corner for last week and the upcoming week.
Yeah.
Well, last week,
let him sit up.
It was last week. It was, I mean, as expected. I think we expected to crush. I think it was maybe a little bit more dominating than maybe I anticipated. I anticipated, whooping ass, but I mean, Murray State tried an onside kick right off the rip. That backfired. I don't know if you saw the replay, but like the kicker got lit the fuck up whenever he like tried to recover it. Like its helmet got knocked off like 10 yards. So then Mizzou scored right after that. Then Murray State got the ball back on. They went 3 and out, but then instead of going 3 and out, they went for it on 4th and 1. They got stopped. Mizzou scored again. Then Murray State got the ball back and they threw a pick 6. So within like 4.5 minutes, it was like already game over, which of course is game over anyways. But so that was that. Nobody got hurt of any long-term injuries. So they're playing Buffalo this week. Buffalo, they beat an FCS team pretty good last week, but and I think the spread's like 34. So it's kind of another tricky number to me. I'm hesitant to give away that many points against Mizzou, but we should cover. But I could see a world that we don't, but like I said, I don't normally live in the Mizzou spread world, so it's hard for me to think that way. I just want to win, and we'll move on because we just need 10 of them. So we hope.
I was more thinking like what your takes were. I'm probably not going to bet a spread that big, but
no.
Well, my takes. You mean like on the game itself,
on the
team itself?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, our offensive line's better than it's like ever been. We got tons of weapons. Brady missed a couple wide open deep balls, but deep balls are hard to hit, and hopefully he's saving them for later. The defense played lights out. They're actually like the number 1 ranked defense in the nation right now, which isn't saying much. They're like the only team that held their opponent under 100 yards, but it's fucking Murray State. So we'll see. You'll see what it is. As far as the schedule goes, I was kind of disappointed A&M lost, but Vandy showed pretty well, and then Boston College got like the attention of the nation, although Florida State's dog water. It's a standalone game, and I think Boston College has a lot more clout than they did last week. So
Bill O'Brien.
All of a sudden people aren't laughing at the schedule quite so bad. So that was a positive as well.
I've heard, and maybe it was just Mizzou people talking, but I've seen maybe they are trying to get game day there for Boston College.
Yeah, I've been seeing tweets about that as well. It's possible that both of them are ranked at the time, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I was just gonna say that Mizzou's next 3 games could be against ranked opponents, potentially.
Well, after the Buffalo game, there could be 3 in a row. Yeah, but Vandy, I think would have some work to do to crack.
Yeah, they probably will. The way they look, they play like they did. Hey,
but I forgot to look, but whoever's Vandy's playing this week, take them against this.
Good luck, Vandy opponent.
They're playing Alcorn State, bro.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, maybe not.
Rank 'em.
Maybe not Alcorn State.
Yeah, see, they're playing Alcorn State and Georgia State the next 2 games. So I don't know if they're gonna have enough splash to crack the top
they will not.
But hey, Mizzou had 2 East St. Louis boys score in 1 game. When's the last time you heard that?
Last time I heard that was at the District 7 Sports Complex.
Yeah, right.
Oh man,
is that a fact? Is it?
I mean, that's the last time I heard it. I don't know if you guys heard it any time.
I've never heard that in my life.
Good for Mizzou, huh?
Mizzou's gonna be good, man. Like Sneeze, I think. Did you have him in the teams? Did you have him in the playoffs in your bracket?
I did.
Yeah, I did. I had him as the 11 seed, I think.
I had him as 11.
Mizzou look real good, man.
Yeah, I mean they're
Texas and
Alabama.
Again, but they look good.
Two toughest tests probably.
Notre Dame look.
They just will.
Notre Dame looked good too, and they don't have to play anybody pretty much for the rest of the year. So
yeah, they did look good.
I mean, it was a close game, and they didn't like dominate.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
go
ahead, Connor.
I was just gonna say to go into Texas A&M and play like that. That's pretty good.
That
Yeah.
place is weird. Can we talk about how weird that place is?
Yeah, with like the shouting and stuff. Yeah,
it's just weird.
It's classic Texas.
Yeah, it's weird. I need Miami, USC, Texas, and Oklahoma State in the playoff, and then we're getting Rolexes.
That was a good
Sounds good
week
to me.
one for you.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's all I
All
got.
right.
Ball is back.